trying to find a spot to check out the island of Antipaxos, but we've just driven past this beach and it's absolutely gorgeous, but so full of people. So we are going to keep going down the coast and hopefully find anchorage. We've done it. We found the most amazing bay all to ourselves. Check it out. Our new hammock. So excited. I've wanted one of these for so long, and we finally found this gorgeous little store in Barcelona that had the most amazing selection of hammocks.
Just relax, take my hand.
My turn, my turn, my
Come
turn.
dig your feet into the sand. Take it in.
Good morning. I woke up a bit early this morning, about 6 AM, so decided to leave Adam sleeping, and we have departed our anchorage already. It's about 4 hours from Antipaxos, which is where we stayed last night, to Preveza, which is where we're headed now, to pick up Adam's cousin for the next part of our trip. So yeah, we've really enjoyed Antipaxos. It was an awesome island, absolutely beautiful beaches, and the water was just crystal clear. So if that's a sign to come of what Greece has to offer, then we are really, really excited. We're going at about 6 knots under motor this morning. There is only about 3 knots of breeze, so it's not really enough to even mess up my hair, let alone push a 14-ton boat. But we'll see how the day goes. Over and out.
If I could remember one.
With a few extra hours up our sleeve, we pulled into a huge bay near Preveza in search of some good kiting conditions. We also slowed the boat right down and attempted to trawl for mackerel with absolutely no success. We found an island in the middle of the bay to anchor next to before attempting our first kite launches off the back of the boat. Do it!
I walk the streets at 3 Sleeps the thing that lives on.
Just watching Adam doing some kite surfing. He spent quite a long time getting it all set up and ready off the back of the boat, which was a bit of a challenge. A few swear words were said, but he's out there now and he is loving it.
Now there's a fire. Nobody told you.
Nice!
Settle the stress and get out of bed. You kinda know when you're kinda down, and I can't get through to you. Drive the names out with fake
You get pretty swingy in this new hammock.
city lights when it's storming. Drive the names out with fake horns.
Cousin Joe, I hope you're on that plane.
City lights when it's storming. And now there's a fire.
This is Joe, welcome on board Joe.
Hey.
She's going for her first swim.
First swim of the year.
Yoo-hoo.
Proper swim. See you later. I'm going to do a little dive. I'm gonna
Go
in
for
here.
it. Nice.
Oh, it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
Nice and warm.
It's warm,
Wow.
eh? Yeah. We then left the bay in search of our first Ionian island, Lefkada.
I read the news today. I found something that reminded me of the games we played.
Swim number 1 in the Greek island. Post lunch. Water looks amazing. Are you ready?
Are we going together?
Yeah.
Okay.
3,
1,
2, 1.
And all these people with the words say they care about the world when it doesn't really matter.
It's really good.
Cause they're taking what we have and forgetting that the past taught us freedom lies in what we give away. Give a little love now and try to understand. We could lose out if we can't learn to use our hands. We could come together cause we have the choice to be saving those without a voice.
Our next stop was Vasiliki, on the southern side of Lefkada. We awoke Jo from her nap for a mandatory gin and tonic, before anchoring in the super sheltered bay for the evening.
Moments of innocence when nothing seemed to change. A little love and a band-aid could fix most anything. But then came the day when I didn't recognize a thing.
So we thought it was about time we did a tour of the boat, just so you can see kind of the layout and where everything is and what we have on board. So first up is the galley, also known as the kitchen. Eddie's just making us a coffee. So we've got some sink action over here, drying rack under the stairs, and yeah, oven, it's all gas there. We've got a couple of fridges, which is going to be super handy for when we do the crossings, and lots of bench space, which comes in very handy. Next up is the lounge, and you can see here we've got a nice big couch area, which is fabulous, and then behind that some cookbooks, lots of healthy eating on this boat, and yeah, we don't tend to spend too much time down here. We're mainly upstairs, just because it's so beautiful outside. Through here is the master bedroom. Oh yeah, and our to-do list, which you've all seen before. And in here you've got your double bed. It's semi-narrow at the end, but it fits the two of us. You've got your little ensuite in here, which is fairly self-explanatory. electric toilet, which is always nice. We've got our little balcony up here, which walks out to a lovely view, as you can see. And then of course, the best part is the walk-in wardrobe. Right there. Full of togs at the moment. But no, there is actually heaps of space. We've got a big hanging wardrobe in there. And then over here, got another one with shelving. So plenty of space because you really don't need much on a boat. Fairly minimal uniform. Come back through this way and you can see we've got 2 cabins either side of the back of the boat there. We've got another little bathroom in here, which is mainly for guests and when you're on night watch, so you don't disturb a person sleeping. These rooms are fairly big actually and full of storage at the moment. Lots of our toys really, just fills them all up.
So on board latitude adjustment, we have a 75 horsepower Yamaha engine. We have 2 diesel tanks. We converted one of the water to diesel, so we have 435 litres of diesel, which gives us about a 700 mile range. We have 325 litres of water, but it's not very much, but we have the water maker, so we can always be making water and be living off the grid. We also have 840 amp hours of battery, which is a big battery bank, which gives us the ability to really run the water maker whenever we want. Sarah to do her hair or run the coffee machine or the blender, food processor whenever she wants. And
all the important things in life.
Yeah, things that gotta have to keep a girl happy. As we come up on deck here, sitting in the cockpit, we are under the spray dodger here, and it's turned out to be a pretty fantastic spray dodger, great visibility, and it's really good on delivery mode to hide from the wind and from the rain that we've occasionally had. But here we also have what we call the keyboards or the controls for most of the sails, where we can pull all the sails up and down, and we're lucky enough that the boat came with an electric winch where we can make life a bit easy for us, especially if we get caught out with too much of the jib out, and it's really hard work to try and make it furl in 20 knots. So you can just put on the winch and push the button and get the jib away and be safe, quick and easy. Then right here we have the cockpit table. This is probably where we spend most of our time on the boat. We can sit probably 6 people really comfy around it, 8, maybe 10 at a squeeze. And we generally are out here breakfast, lunch, dinner, playing cards, having a few beers in the evening. A lot of time spent out here. We come back and then we have the 2 helm stations, one each side, which is great for visibility when sailing and for parking and just generally motoring around. Then even further back we have our dinghy, 3 meter alloy hull, inflatable, 15 horse. She just goes super fast, super good for getting into town and back when you're anchored quite far out. And we even put a little additional light pole on the top, so at night we'll be safe going to and from the restaurants or bars. And thanks to our mate Renato for helping with that pole. Then we come forward. Up here on top of the bimini we have 560 watts of solar, and this is proved to be pretty fantastic and actually can power the fridges day and night, all the lighting and the navigation when we're sailing, and if we're quite cautious with the power we can even use it to make water without having to recharge the batteries with the engine or the generator. So they've been absolutely fantastic, and we just lashed them on with a bit of bungee, and it turns out, you know, we've been in 45 knot squalls off Croatia and they just stayed on just fine without a problem, which was lucky because we were a bit worried about that. And as we come forward we have the boom, the main on top of it, and this can't be done because we are at anchor, and yeah, just got the cover on, keep it out of the sun. We come up here and we have our our staysail. We use this generally when it's above 15 knots of wind. Really just takes a lot of power out of the boat. You can see it's 1.5 meters further back than the main jib, but it doesn't come past the mast, so it's a lot smaller, a lot safer, and in the end when it's over 15 knots it doesn't actually slow us down at all. It just means we don't lean over as much, and we go the same speed. And we have the big jib, which overlaps, and that really has a lot of power in it, and like 8 knots of wind we're really fully powered up. And up here we have the anchor with a snubber on it at the moment to take the load off the windlass, which is this thing here, and to make sure we can extend the life of that for as long as we can. The boat actually came with a 1,000-watt windlass and a tiny ridiculous anchor, and a lot of people advised us it's not very safe because it's probably one of the most crucial things to be able to anchor and stay put. But we made sure the first thing we bought for the boat was a new anchor with a 33 kilo Rockner anchor and 90 meters of chain. A lot of people told us you don't need that much, but a lot of people said it's the perfect amount, so we went more the merrier, because the last thing we want is for our anchor to drag at night and end up on the rocks or on another yacht. Back here in the boat we also have 2 spinnakers that we use. We didn't actually buy them, they came with the boat, and it turned out to be pretty great little thing that came with it, to be able to have one big one for light airs, one small one for heavy airs for going downwind, to make us skip along rather efficiently. Last thing I didn't show was down the back here. I think we have the fenders all stored in there at the moment, but down here we have a water maker. You can just see the pump there for it, and a generator further down the corner, and yeah, we can make 60 litres of water an hour for 27 amps an hour, and we can also charge the batteries with that generator at 120 amps per hour. So yeah, I think we're pretty much all set to be able to cruise off the grid, not having to stop all the time, and yeah, to make our way back to New Zealand.